Troy Medium. Welcome to another episode of Ask Jason. Starting to get some questions about just more details on the Ascension process, some of the, I guess, the supplements to be taking, when should you be taking them, is there some kind of template or program scenario where you're doing things on a regular basis. So what you're going to start to see is that once the energy starts to, I guess, become more resistant, more restrictive, more tension, more tightness, and this is going to be mirrored within your reality. So, give you an example. You may be starting to have more, I guess, fights, more, I guess, scenarios such as work, where you're starting to fly off the handle for no reason. People are interacting with you, and they're being more pushy. It's not as fluid. It just seems to be that you're just constantly having this bad day, or this bad week, or this bad month, or this bad year. So if this is constantly happening, it's a cycle, and it's also a mirror from your higher self. Say, listen, you need to change this, and I can't physically move you. So what I'm going to do for you as your higher self is that, because you're down there playing on the game board, I'm going to have to put some restrictions and some more blocks in front of you for you to make a choice. So, you may want to get a piece of paper out and start to look at areas within your life that you're seeing and feeling resistance, because the higher self, when you're in flow or when you're on purpose, then you're in line, and you'll start to see it becomes more, there's more fluidity within your experience. So with the Ascension symptoms within the body, that's the only reason you would be taking any of these supplements. Water is very key, so changing up your water, having distilled water, intaking some mega hydrate as well within the water, so you have that absorption rate, so that you're not just pushing all of this stuff out of your system. On a daily basis, you want to be making sure that your diet is alkaline. Restricting it down to, you may want to start to do some fasting. Intermediate fasting is really good to start off, where a lot of bodybuilders, personal trainers will recommend this, where you're not eating for at least 12 to 15 hours, and then you have one big meal, and then you start that all over again. So your body starts to get accustomed to it. You don't want to be doing too much too soon, too fast, because you may place yourself into a healing crisis, and that's not something that you want to be doing. So doing a fast would be great, starting off with a detox, starting to detox specific areas within the different organs and so on. Like I advocated in other episodes, I'm not a doctor, so you may want to talk to a health practitioner, or go into a health food store and just ask them what they recommend. I'm not an expert on any of these things. I'm just showing you what I've done in the past. I still keep doing detoxes and so on. You want to be able to flush out a lot of the stuff that's in the bowels, because that's the lower part of the body. When you start to, I guess, it's almost like you're going to become a spiritual athlete, a spiritual warrior. The spiritual athlete needs to maintain a certain frequency. So everything in the environment is going to try and suppress that frequency based on what you've been doing in the past. So in the past, you might have liked to go out to fast food restaurants. A lot of things in the fast food restaurants is very high in acidity. You know, if you're drinking a lot of pop, you're eating a lot of hamburgers, a lot of meat. So you want to be changing up your diet. So having your diet to be more alkaline. So a vegan diet is a very good diet to be following. Raw food. You can see a lot of stuff on YouTube there with David Wolf. He's got a lot of really good interviews and videos that he does. So the raw food, vegan diet, so maintaining the water on a daily basis. You want to be able to flush out a lot of this stuff out of your system. You may even want to do a colon cleanse, or a hydroponic, where you're flushing a lot of that stuff out of your bowels. And when you do that, you may start to feel lighter as well, because a lot of that's dense energy, that's old energy, old meat. Like there's a lot of stuff that's stuck in those bowels, so you want to be able to get that out of your system, so that your frequency isn't pinging off. Now, even with the body, a lot of it has candida inside of it as well. So if you're getting up at different hours of the night and you're snacking and so on, a lot of these parasites, this parasitical energy within the bowels, is actually giving you a signal to get up and have something to eat and so on. So it's actually wanting it to be fed. So if you're craving a lot of things such as sugars and so on, it's because this parasite is feeding from your frequency, and that's why you might be lethargic or tired and so on, because you want to be able to release a lot of that energy out of your system. Now, if you do some research on this too, the body organs are corresponding to chakras. So clearing the body, you'll be clearing most of the frequencies and stuff within your chakras. So you can do some research on that. So the supplements, just the main supplements that you want to be taking, you may want to be getting a greens plus type of scenario, barley greens, because the vegetables that we're eating are very depleted from all of the minerals in the soil and so on. You also may want to be getting some Ormus material, some Ethereum supplements such as Ormus Gold, Ormus Black. Those will actually start to help with your cells, also with mental clarity and so on. So those are the main supplements that I take, and then you want to be able to take in some Himalayan salt, sea salt. That's just to maintain more of a higher frequency with being alkaline. But when you start taking other herbs and so on, you just want to make sure that you're taking a look at why you're taking that stuff into your body. But the next step would be meditation. Meditation would be on a daily basis, and you really want to be doing that maybe 2 minutes a day. If your schedule is pretty restrictive and you've got a lot of people, or you've got friends, family, and you're very distracted and so on, that's when you're going to start to look at your environment to see where you're taking off course. So meditation on a daily basis, and you're just basically pushing out that signal to the universe to say, what do I need to look at? What do I need to work on today? And they'll place that in front of you, and then you'll need to be doing some shifting and adjustments there. And you're just basically toggling back and forth. You're just tweaking until you start to move into that higher frequency. Now you'll know that you're in that higher frequency because a lot of things will start to become more apparent. You may start to see beyond the veil. You'll start to see the other frequencies. It's like you're tuning because those frequencies are in a higher vibration. So because you're raising to that vibration, you'll now start to see, you may start to see spirit, you may start to feel spirit, you may start to get little wisps on your face and be like, what is that? Or a lot of times people experience like a web type of scenario where almost like when you walk through a spider web, but it's a frequency that you're touching or feeling. A lot of other symptoms are the ears starting to ring a little bit, where you'll get that higher pitch. So that's also the higher self, or their guides that are trying to tune to you as well. So your internal dialogue will probably slow down, and you may even start to get internal dialogue that will be, wow, that's not actually, that's not my voice. That's I'm hearing something else. I can feel somebody around that person, and they're showing me such and such. I've been actually in scenarios where I'm on the highway where I'm just driving, and the traffic has stopped, and I can feel within that area of the highway that there was an accident there, and I can actually recall the cars spinning and people moving this way and that way. So you'll start to be more sensitive to the environment. So because you're not as dense, you become more sensitive to the frequencies that are around you. So you'll start to interact now. Instead of just interacting with 10% of the reality, you'll now start interacting with the 90%. Now, if you don't want to be going down that road too, when I do some high-level meditations and I'm out for 2-3 hours, to come back into this frequency, sometimes I'm just way out there. I want to be able to come back. I'll eat something dense, so you can have a lot of shamans used to eat raw cacao, raw chocolate, just to bring the frequency back into that lower first chakra, so that you are anchored, so that you are grounded. You don't want to be walking around flighty and so on. I've done conferences and so on where the energy was so amped up, and I had interacted with some different people, and there was so much high frequency in the room, and the conference was over, and I was getting into my car, and I couldn't find my keys. I couldn't find my parking pass. There was stuff going on with the vehicle. I couldn't get it started properly and so on. So I'm sitting in the car. I'm starting to drive out of the parking lot, and the parking lot attendant says to me, he goes, your back door is open. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I'm not grounded. I'm too much. I'm not here in the third dimension. I'm more up into the 5 and 60. So I had to park the car. It felt like energetically I was drunk, so I needed to ground my energy. So you got to be very careful with changing and shifting your frequency. So being able to ground that energy, go for walks, go for take your shoes off, sit in the grass. Interacting with the sun, interacting with nature is very key as well. You may start to feel frequencies, the elementals, the energy within the trees and in nature and so on. So these are just some tricks and tips on I'm just trying to do a little bit more of a recap here on some of the stuff that you want to be able to do to maintain that spiritual athlete. So if you have any questions or concerns, shoot me an email, and I'll try and do my best in the next episode. Thanks for your time.